All right. Well, welcome to my channel for confidence sake. And this video is going to be all about confidence. So you're going to get to know a little bit about my journey in confidence. Kay, my friend here, is a model. So she has obviously first-hand experience with confidence. She was literally, when I met her, was like one of the most confident people I'd seen. So that was really refreshing to see somebody who was actually truly confident in themselves. So we're going to talk for her podcast, which will be linked down below. And I'm just filming it, and we get anything good, you obviously, if you're watching this, then we definitely did. So yeah, I'm not going to probably be looking at the camera, but I hope that you can gain something from this topic. It's something that we all deal with, you know, lack of self-confidence. All these different things are very, very big in today's culture. So this should be an engaging and interesting conversation. So listen and watch along.
I'm Kay, nice to meet you. I've been modelling for 7 years, and yeah, I'm just going to jump in straight to the podcast because if I start talking, I'm going to regurgitate and repeat myself. So, here we go. Hello and welcome, people of the world, to my podcast, Mental Health and Modelling. I am your host, Kayleen Stammers. If you don't know me, I have been modelling for 7 years now, and it is my mission to bring to you not only my journey as and when it happens, but also other people too. I've had a series of models so far, but this episode today is very special because it's my best friend Vix, and she's going to be talking to us about her journey with confidence. Now, you may think to yourself, how does confidence and modelling link in? Of course it does, because you need a lot of confidence to even put yourself out there as a model, let alone be on set and do the whole rest of it. So without further ado, I will welcome Vix. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, I would like to be called a Vigway. Vix is for friends. So yeah, a Vigway, that's my name. I'm 25. I could call myself a little bit of a model now. I'm joking, I'm not at all. But
you did a shoot, what do you mean?
I did one shoot, which we're going to talk about today, which was a journey in itself. But yeah, I am into wellness. So my actual career is wellness, everything to do with it. Massage, stretch therapy, all of the above. Yeah.
So when did your journey with confidence start, do you think? At what age?
I think we kind of had a little talk about this earlier. And I feel like confidence it starts from when you're really young, I think, for everybody. And I think growing up, I grew up in a school that nobody looked like me. There was about 3 black people. I've always been tall. So
Same.
I felt like I just didn't fit in the box. I didn't know if I wanted to either, but I kind of just sometimes wanted to blend in. From very young, I was like, you know, when you're tall, they sit you at the back of the photos and stuff. It's like, I just want to be at the front. So I was like, it was that. I think that kind of impacted my confidence looking back on it. Forced to stand out, but not wanting to. And then I think after years, especially when I hit puberty, it was really... It's like I started to notice things about my body and myself that I never had before. And I was like, wait, what? Is this wrong? Like, strawberry legs, little thing. I was like, has this always been there?
Yeah.
And it's like, I just started to be very, very self-conscious. And there's so many different things. I don't know how deep we should go into this, but...
As deep as you feel.
I mean, I think who you surround yourself with is important.
Right.
And I think as teenagers, we are going through puberty. A lot of us are feeling insecure.
Right.
And I think I was surrounded with a lot of insecure people as well. Yeah, we're going there. We're going there. And because of that, I started to look at myself even more heavily because I saw them doing it. So I was kind of almost like replicating what they were doing. Right. And I ended up leaving like high school or secondary school, people call it, just a shell of myself. Right. Though there was like a still part of me that wanted to put myself out there, but I just didn't feel worthy enough
to be seen. And that's because you were surrounded by the constant nitpicking of other people towards themselves, which spills out. And I know that you've said to me in the past that you've had a few comments towards you as well that added to it. It's not... School is...
It's a dodgy one, you know.
It's a stick. I just feel like schools don't foster an environment for anything but obviously just reprogramming you for the workforce. I'm not going to go down that route, but yeah, mental health and how you see yourself and all of these other important aspects which shape you as a person, especially that young, are completely overlooked. And then if they're not overlooked, there's only one teacher doing it, and that one teacher is busting their backs. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's rough. So when you left high school, you said that you were a shell of yourself. How did that affect your relationship with the people around you? So how did that affect if you started to date? How did that affect how you move forward in that way? How did that affect how you move forward in friendships? Like, how did that affect everything?
I mean, dating was the first one that came to that, like, that you said that I thought, okay, what did that do? I mean, having no, like, self-worth or really low self-worth and speaking to men or women, whatever.
What about your experience?
Men. Is not the one. I really do feel like men can smell insecure women.
Oh, I sniff it out.
They're like, where is she? I can see that she doesn't care.
My time's to shine.
Yeah, honestly. And then the ones who are those ones tend to be the worst.
Yeah.
They tend to be the worst.
Because they're predators.
Yeah, of course. So I feel like when I was young, I was dating somebody, like, quite young, and I really had no business, sorry mum and dad, dating at that age. And at first he actually built my confidence. He really did. He actually was quite instrumental in, like, somebody finally telling me outside of family, like, oh, like, I find you attractive. And it's like, oh, okay, I felt seen. And then it was like, when things were ending, it's like he tried to take that away from me. And I remember, this is why it's good to have, like, something in me was like, no, you're not going to take that away from me. You're not going to build me up and bring me back down again. I'm not giving you that power. And I was so young, like, but something was like, no, I'm not letting you do that to me.
Right.
So I think dating wise, even until quite recently, I've realised that, like, sometimes you can settle for things that probably aren't the best for you.
Right.
And you deserve more, but you can only know you deserve more, like, in yourself first.
Right.
And my mum always tells me, like, people can only love you to the extent that you love yourself. Do you get it?
I always hear people can only love you to the extent that they love themselves, but I've never heard it that way around. But that also makes sense.
It goes both
it's kind
ways.
of the same difference.
Yeah.
It
goes both ways. So, because if somebody's loving you more than you love yourself, you're not going to trust that.
Nah.
You're going to be like, oh, what's this? Like, something feels fishy. Like,
I've experienced that for so long.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I pride myself on being a good friend. And people aren't used to having good friends. So when I come with my kindness and I genuinely don't have bad mind or jealousy or whatever, people they can't take it. And they distance themselves.
This is what you were talking about, the friend one. I think that's why she brought it up.
That's not why I brought it up.
I think subconsciously.
Yeah, possibly. You know what I'm saying? I said to this one that we were going to be friends. She was like...
I did not. When I first met Kay, I was like, okay, she's interesting, but I have this thing where I'm actually quite introverted. I was saying that ambivert, but I am quite introverted. I don't really let people into my space. So, and that's also because of childhood. Like, I feel like I'm a very loving person.
But would you say that was friendship trauma that you experienced?
Oh, 100% is friendship trauma. Like, we were talking about how people made comments, and part of the reason me seeing myself as not confident and not beautiful, because it was really about my looks. Part of the reason why I saw that is I thought that in myself, and then one time a friend was like, yeah, we're the ugly ones of the group. She legit said that to me, and I was like, oh,
I would have said pull up and rewind. No, because
broski. In that moment it was like, oh, it's confirmation. Everything I've been thinking these years is true. I am ugly. Do you know what I'm saying? It was like that.
Okay.
And for years after that, all I could look at in the mirror was what I didn't like about myself. I wasn't seeing myself. But we'll circle back to that one. In terms of friendship now, to let someone in again, I just didn't want to. I just wasn't ready to.
So could you say that your confidence being affected in a multitude of ways, like that's kind of like the byproducts, like even in friendship, you didn't feel confident?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I didn't feel confident in friendship. I didn't feel confident in how people treated me. Right. In a sense. So it's not like...
So that made you skeptical to have friends?
Yeah, because I just dealt with so many weird people.
Yeah.
Same. Like, when I love very hard, and I'm, like I said, in the past I was such an open book. Yeah. Which I think is beautiful, because I was raised, like, my siblings and I were really close. So I was raised and I could tell everybody everything that was happening to me. And then I realised, oh no, You cannot do that. You know, that's not the wisest thing to do. And then it's like, I'd be really close to people and then they just start doing these weird things.
Yeah.
Like, another situation comes to mind right now with a friend. And this is another moment that made me feel like, oh, I am truly not attractive. And I remember, like, she was looking at herself in the mirror and she was like, she was nitpicking herself. And I was like, you should be really, like, grateful for what God's blessed you with.
Right.
And she was like, well, do you hate God then because he gave you no breast? And as I'm sitting here with a 34F, you might be thinking, but I actually had to leave.
I actually
had to leave. And this is what I'm saying, like, in friendships, I had just been scarred and I'd been hurt so deeply. And I think it's because like, maybe you're right, confidence does affect it, because that wound was so open.
Right.
And I'd let people see that wound.
Right.
When they poked at it,
yeah,
it hurt so much.
Of course.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Of
so
course.
I think it did was like, I don't know if I need friends.
So when I came along, like, we're gonna be friends. God told me.
Yeah.
He was like F, we're gonna be friends. Yeah, you're weird.
I was like,
pause, pull out, rewind.
Yeah, social
I said,
distancing.
it's okay. I said, it's okay. You'll see it soon enough. And then, 3 years later,
yeah,
we're best friends. So
yeah.
It didn't take 3 years to get to this point.
No, it was like about a year of me not being sure. I was like, okay, slowly.
Yeah.
But I still appreciated your presence. Do you get what I'm saying?
No,
so it
I
wasn't
know
even
you
like,
did.
I didn't know where it was going to end up. But I was like, still.
I know you did.
Yeah, so rate you as a person.
You were always still friendly and still very, very, very kind and open. So it was all good. But yeah, I think I understand that, and I relate a lot. I feel like I have a genuine mental block on my childhood and on my teenhood because I suffered so much friendship trauma on so many different levels. But the times where I did want to be to myself and close myself off because I was just, I can't do this, my heart felt physically cold. Like, I'm an empath, so I physically feel things all the time. My chest felt cold. And I could just hear God saying to me, stop. Like, you cannot let your heart wax cold. You cannot close yourself off. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, every time I thought, okay, I'm going to be cold-hearted one now and just stay to myself or whatever, there was forces higher than myself making sure that I wouldn't. So, yeah, I gave in to God all the time. Praise the Lord. And I'm obedient to God all the time.
Amen.
So that fell into that, luckily. But yeah, I understand, and I've also been there, so praise God we don't have to worry about any of that anymore, because I'm not a funny one and neither is Ovigwe. So there we go. But how did it affect going into college and university? Do you feel like age played a role to kind of heal some of those wounds?
I think yes. I'm quite a deep babe. Like, the people that know me know I'm very, very deep. So I think as I've gotten older, I've explored those wounds. I'm always like, since I was young, to be honest, I'd always be one of those kids that are questioning everything. And I think that's helped me in my own life. I'm like, wait a second, like, I question, why do I feel this way? I know this is wrong. I know this is not how I'm meant to feel, so why? And I think going into college, as you said before, or sixth form, oh my gosh, at that point I feel like something like left me. When I left school, I think maybe I wanted a new lease or wanted to actually finally step into the things that I want to do, because if anything like me, I used to watch a lot of YouTube in school. And so when I got to sixth form, I was like, I want to start a YouTube channel.
Right.
But then a lot of the girls there did not like me.
Right.
But I say a lot of the girls, there was a fair few. I had never talked to them. So you might be thinking, oh, what did she do? Nothing. I just lived and existed. It was irritated them enough. And then I closed myself up again. I had a fear of people seeing me starting.
Yes.
And in my head, I'd be thinking, if I start a YouTube and I've got one view and they come and dislike it back when you can see the dislikes.
Yeah.
I was thinking, no, I can't have that. I can't let anyone
lot.
see me like that. And I'm even still coming out of that now, because this is all quite fresh. University as well. How did university help me build my confidence? I think at that point I didn't really care as much. I think I got to a point where I was like, okay, if I'm attractive or not, it doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm not here for that anyways.
Let's get an education.
Yeah, so it stopped meaning as much to me. When you're younger, that's all these little things are like what's consuming you. But then as you get older, other things happen. You're not really as focused on it. But a turning point in university was I started to feel really low again. Like, I got to a point where I was like, I'd look in the mirror and I just hated what I was seeing. But it was like, a part of me knew that I was pretty.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it was like...
There's a disconnect.
It was a disconnect. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just years of not liking the image in front of you that I had to, like, you know, make harmony with it.
Right.
And I remember calling my brother and I was like, you know, I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I feel like I think I'm pretty, but I can't see it. Like, when I look in the mirror, and he was like, you need to look in the mirror and you need to affirm. You need to say to yourself, I'm beautiful. No matter what you feel like, say it. Yeah. So I did that for a week and I stopped. But I genuinely in my heart believe that from the week of affirmations, it like unlocked something. And to this day, I think I'm still benefiting off those affirmations. Wow. Yeah.
Big up, big bro.
Honestly.
Big bro's been doing the business.
Yeah, I'm very blessed. Yeah.
Very blessed. Wow. Affirmations isn't something that I came across until you introduced them to me properly. I've seen it for so long online and with other people, and I just thought, I see some hocus pocus. I'm saying affirmation, what's that going to do? And then, so I think for me, I had to understand the power in my voice and the power in myself before I could even begin to believe in affirmations for myself. So I had to like work backwards, because my mum would always affirm me. I'm very blessed to grow up with a mum who is larger than life. She's very curvy, very bubbly, very extroverted, and she's all just love me. And I was like, oh my mum's too much. Like, everywhere we go, she needs attention. Please, I can't take it. So I think having a mum like that when I was younger, it made me shut off more, because I was like, she gets so much attention, and by default I get attention from being next to her. I don't want that. It's too much for me. But then being at the age I am now, I really heartfeltedly appreciate all the confidence that she's spoken to me, because whenever I would look in the mirror and be like, oh, my mum would be like, do you understand how there's men that would slaughter a nation for you?
I love that.
Wake up! I mean, maybe she wouldn't speak that, but you get it. Like, my mum would really, really drive it home. Like, you are wanted, you are loved, you are cared for, and you are stunning. And I'm not saying that because I'm your mum. I'm saying that because you are stunning. Yeah. You're so stunning, people didn't believe that you were my child. And she was dead ass. She showed me the pictures. So, because I had that, even though I faced, in my own ways, what you face, especially the friendship trauma, and then the dating, and then high school was a myth. Especially I was the only black girl in my year when I moved to the countryside, and then there was only 3 black people in my school, and I was one of them from year 7 to 11. So going through that alone, it's, you know, I didn't have an identity crisis because I'm a black girl and I love being a black woman. Exactly. But always seeing the lack of representation, no one understanding your jokes, no one understanding your dialect, no one no one understanding you, and everything that you do became a spectacle or something to be laughed at or pointed out, unwanted attention. So it was definitely a battle between, I know what my mummy's told me and my mum tells the truth, and then also the world is telling me something different. And then I found a balance through that, and I definitely found a balance easier through my first proper relationship as well, because he spoke a lot of affirmations into me and appreciated me in such a way where I never believed that I could be appreciated. Even on my foot bottom, the man would kiss. Do you get it? Like, that's rare. That type of love is rare. And the shape of my toes, or the shape, like, just all these intricate little details that I would look into and hate, he loved on. So that really, really boosted me a lot. I'm grateful for that, even though I'm not grateful for him. So I resonate and I understand, and I'm glad that by university, you know, you had a grip on things and you were like, you know what, I'm going to stop caring. And I'm glad that that pivotal turning point stays with you and you can testify on it now. Yeah, no, definitely. I think like you talked about relationships, and we've talked about it before as well. I've been single my whole adult life. Do you get what I'm saying? So where I saw a lot of my friends being pulled into by their partners, and then
if you're in a relationship, you can't say, oh, I'm not attractive. Well, you can still say that, but like, it's like there's at least one person here who values me, and like, I didn't have that. So it was really like I've been doing the work by myself, for myself, the whole time.
Which is the best way.
The beauty of that is that no one can take it away from me, because I got a taste of that when I was really young, or someone trying to build me up and then break me down. So yeah, I've really had to do the work kind of like by myself. Obviously my parents would affirm me, but they honestly, to this day, like when I put my video out talking about insecurity and stuff, my parents were like, we had no idea. Because like they would always tell me, they would always like affirm me, like, you're beautiful, but it didn't matter to me, because I just didn't see it. Do you know what I'm saying?
No one can tell you anything until you see it and recognise it for yourself.
100%, 100%. So I think that was one of the things that, you know, I've always come across as confident.
Same.
And I didn't know that, because obviously you know how you feel in yourself if you're not confident. But people have always thought, like, what are you talking about? Like, I've always thought you were really confident and really sure of yourself. I'm like, no, I really wasn't. I can say that now about myself, but that's a fresh one. 25, I think for the last 2 years, I'm like, okay, yeah, like, I wouldn't let anyone talk about me or talk down on me in a certain way. But, yeah, that took a long time.
I'm trying to think to myself, because you said that I'm one of the most confident people that you know. But even when you met me, I didn't feel confident in myself. I felt confident in my appearance, because I'm modelling, and it was like, for me, no matter what you want to say to me, baby, I make money off this face. I can sit there and make money. You bitch could never. So I always had that, but that's not true confidence. Do you know what I mean? That's just a little bit of ego that I'd be carrying around with me. But I never, even to this day, like, unless you tell me how you see me or how you view me or perceive me, I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't leave this house and think everyone sees me as beautiful. Or I don't even, do you know what I mean? You're so in your own head and your own world, you don't even think what other people think anymore. It's beyond that. But what I'm saying is, like, people will stare at me and I'm like, what are you looking at? My God, what are you staring at? And it's like, oh, it's because they think you're pretty. I still can't, I still struggle to remember that. And remember how other people see me, because that was a thing. I thought my confidence was lacking in people valuing me and me valuing myself. So I thought, if I leave a party early, who's gonna care? Doesn't matter that I went with my one friend and I've left her there by herself. I need to go home early because no one cares that I've left early, and I'm just a bit socially awkward and stuff like that. And then obviously I used to have my chest, so I can never dress how I wanted to dress. I can never express myself. So when everyone else was having their phase of shaving their hair, dyeing their hair, doing all of this, wearing mini skirts, and I never got any of it, because I never got a chance to explore my outward expression, which I think is a huge asset to building your confidence. Figuring out what you want to wear and how you look best and how you can present yourself best is a huge explorative step that if you don't have, it just hinders you. So like, only last year at 24 was I able to wear the clothes that I really wanted to wear for the first time in my life. And I'm like, oh, do you know what I mean? Before, I would avoid going to events just so that I wouldn't have to try and find something to wear. So I wouldn't see anyone, I wouldn't be out. And it was a whole cycle. And I'm trying to think, like, what is it that broke that for me? I couldn't tell you, bro. I devoted my life to the Lord and everything's changed.
It'd be like that sometimes, though.
Keep it a buck.
Really does. It really does. And I think you were saying, like, in terms of like how when I first met you, like I mentioned before, like you just mentioned that you were the most outwardly confident people that I had known, but you were saying that it was in your parents. But that was the one thing that I was lacking.
Right.
Do you get it?
Whereas you knew who you were inside.
Exactly.
And you knew that you were valued and you knew what you had to offer and you were strong in that.
Yeah.
So I feel like we both...
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never doubted who I was in terms of like, I feel like I've had a very strong sense of self as a child even. But my appearance was the problem. It was like, I felt very uncomfortable putting my face out there, like posting or even doing this YouTube. It was like, I know I have value in other ways, but that was the problem. So seeing you and you're like taking photos and somebody be like, you're putting your hands somewhere, you're like moving. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I was really uncomfortable when we first met. I was so uncomfortable in front of cameras.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was so uncomfortable in front of cameras. It's only been like the last year. That
I was trying to take selfies with you and you're just like, no.
I don't want to take photos.
No. This woman was adamant. She was like, any picture that anybody else takes of me, I am instantaneously not going to like. But you were so strong in that.
Yeah.
And then a year later, you're like, oh, that wasn't bad.
No, honestly, I would not like, and then I always thought like people would like the ugliest photos of me, so they'd be like, oh, this is cute.
I'm not gonna lie. Them characters that you had in your life before were doing you a disservice. I'm not gonna lie, because I've seen firsthand how your quote-unquote friends will be posting the ones that are the most shit. I'm so sorry I gotta say that. I'm so sorry. It's not in your head. You're not delusional.
No.
Yeah. And me, I always ask permission, like, can I post this picture? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the shoot that we did together, I wanted to post a BTS of us. But I was like, you know what? Just wait till the actual
that was actually quite cute, though.
They were really cute, right?
The BTS was cute.
Before you want me to say that.
No, but you know, when something is cute and like, I feel like I'm not just, I honestly feel like if I was to look back at myself like a year ago, 2 years ago, I wouldn't recognise who I was.
No, same.
I think it's really been that big. I know that it said 25, your like brain fully forms itself and fully develops.
It does.
It may be that.
It does.
It may be that because your girl's feeling different. At first, it was rocky. 25 was rocky.
Oh,
it was rocky.
Probably now that I'm 20 something days away from 26.
Yeah.
Have I feel like I've got a grip on 25?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
It's the most liberating, but it's the most work I feel like I've ever had to do in a short space of time. So it's like equal parts of yay and equal parts of oh my goodness.
I think for me, it was putting together where my reality and what I wanted my reality to be at 25. Do you know what I'm saying? That was what was hard for me, because at 25 I was like, at 25 I'm going to have my first house
and my first 2
children. I'm going to have my
husband. Yeah.
So I was like, oh,
yes.
I'm not working right now.
Yes.
And I'm single.
Yes.
And nah. So piecing them two together and making peace with my reality was what made 25 hard for me. But now I'm like, the world is my oyster.
Amen.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like it's everything where we are now is exactly where we're meant to be. So when we're talking about insecurities and stuff like that, if I wasn't so insecure, I wouldn't value my confidence now. Maybe
and then
maybe I would take that for granted. Yeah, because my whole YouTube channel was me thinking, okay, if I can put myself out there, if I can do the video that I've wanted to do for years now in the back of my mind, then I will unlock
be able to do anything.
Like
it unlocks.
It will unlock a part of me, and that would be, so that's why it's for confidence sake. Right. Because it was for the sake of my confidence.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
I always have. I watch every single video.
She really does.
I do, and I comment, and I have to try and stop myself from commenting. I love it. Yeah. It continues to be a journey. Confidence continues to be a journey.
Yes.
But I've definitely understood how it plays a role in everything that we do, in the relationships that we have, how we see ourselves, how we treat ourselves, how we see and treat other people. I feel because my mum spoke such life into me, and because I continued that, I speak life into everybody else. Do you know what I mean? I always do. I don't have any friendships where I affirm people's negativity, not to themselves, not to their situation, and not anything else. Because I'm just like, I'm not doing it. I'm not toxically positive, but this whole thing of like realism and delusion, I'm like, you need to be more on the side of delusion, especially with situations. For example, when my friend says, oh, I've just gotten in a situation and this is probably how it's going to play out. I'm like, don't write the story. It's not written yet. You're not allowing space for a miracle to work. You're not allowing space for what you want and what you desire to be manifested. If you're already writing the story, say, oh, it's probably gonna... No, don't start. My friend said, that's what Austin said yesterday. My other friend Austin, he said, I don't know how I'm gonna navigate this situation, but it will most likely be easy. I said, glory to God.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Glory to God. He said, it will most likely be easy. It'll probably come easy. Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! It's so important, because it's those moments where we decide to write our story before it's even written that hinders us the most. Because we've already put that funky energy that we had into our future, and we're injecting it without even realising. So, and that's something that you taught me as well, or drummed into me more. Because when I would try to say, oh, it's probably gonna, Viggs would be like, oh, no! And I'd be like, oh,
I'm a really strong believer that words are spells.
Yes.
And I think that I see a lot of people marking themselves with horrible situations. Like they'll say that they're such a clumsy person, or they're always sick, or they're always gonna feel this, or this is the way I've always been.
My immune system just always been like that.
And it's just like, whoa, you don't realize, you do not realize. I catch myself. I'm not perfect. I catch myself saying certain things. I'm like, no. So I refuse to put that into my reality to make it such. So I'm really big on like self-help. I've read a lot of books.
You're
I've done
big
a
on
lot
intentionality.
Intentionality for sure.
Number one.
And I think it's been a journey for years on how I've built my confidence. But like you said, intentionality, I've read a lot. I've watched a lot.
Sorry to interject. This woman does not stop learning. And I would love to actually study. I know there is a direct correlation between being learned and knowledgeable and confidence, because obviously the more you know and the more you study, the more confident you feel in yourself, like you actually know something. So I've been learning that. This woman, you learned how to drive. At the same time, you started learning Spanish. At the same time, you're doing back-to-back courses for wellness. At the same time, you did your first job. Steam train. I still to this day, I'm like, where do you find the energy? And you still make time to be an amazing friend, and you still make time to learn how to do your own hair. She done her own twists. I wish on the podcast you could see her own twists. Anisa, what's how many at the front? 16 rows. What are we doing? How? She could do her own gel manicure set. She could do her own with the. I'm just like, Vix has inspired me in every area of my life to fix up. And not to fix up like you need to get it together, but like love yourself, take the time to love yourself, and love yourself enough to learn to do what you would like to do for yourself. So you're the first person that said to me, you know, instead of me going out to get my nails done, I'm gonna learn how to do it. And you did. And you said, I'm gonna stop getting my hair done. I'm gonna learn how to do my own passion twist. I'm gonna learn how to do my own box sprays. You have. I'm gonna learn how to do my own locks. She had. It's just non-stop. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. So I would definitely say that in itself, and continuing to learn, and to learn solely for yourself. You're not doing a master's degree because your dad told you to. You're learning how to love on yourself because that's what you're interested in, and that's what inspires you. And it's been such a game changer for me. Seeing you and observing you do that, and then also saying, let me take several leaves out of that book and do it myself. Now I can shave down my toenails. Okay. I've got the UV lamp, and I'm not quite there yet.
You're almost there, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's huge.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that.
It's alright.
No, Kate, no, you do give people their flowers. That was another thing I feel like everyone needs to know. I think another thing on confidence is being affirmed. Like we've talked about this many times.
Yeah.
And I feel like I had seen my impact on people, as we all do on others, but nobody said like, Figs, you've helped me with this, or you, until you came along.
And that was something that bugged you, because I remember you.
Yeah, because I'm like, what am I? I can see it. I
walk in inspiration. You lot are my sons, and you don't even want to recognize it.
I don't know about that, but since if the shoe fits. No, I'm joking. But no, like, it's good to hit, like, some people had, but it's not on the level that you had. So I really do appreciate that. But I think this is also why it's important to make, like, lemonades out of lemon. So if I didn't have in lockdown, I was like, okay, when I finished uni, I wasn't working.
Right.
I'm not spending £110 for somebody to do knotless braids for me. I'm
Facts.
just not going to.
Facts.
So it's like, there's YouTube, and I couldn't even braid my hair. Like, I started from the bottom. But I had to learn. And even with like, okay, as much as I wanted to be in a relationship, would I put so much effort in taking care of myself if I was in a relationship and someone was doing it for me?
Not at all.
So it's like, I realise now these situations that I wanted remedied, they've actually helped me be who I am today.
And they continue to, because that's how God works.
Exactly. So it's like we said about me becoming 25 and not fighting my reality, but instead embracing it, because it's character development. It's exactly where I'm meant to be going. So that's all these things that you just mentioned are all things that I think have happened because of my circumstances.
Right.
Okay, so I don't have this, so I'm going to do this.
Right.
Or I want to do this, so I'm just trying to find a solution to make my life better. And I think by making your own life better, it always rubs off on other people.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
It's never for us only.
And because you're so dedicated to that, yeah, it greatly rubs off on me. Do you know what I mean? Greatly rubs off on me. I was even thinking, like, more stuff came into my mind that she does as you were talking. So, and I was like, even your body butters, I've never felt anything more decadent on my skin. And I'm very upset that I've only had 2 of them.
It's coming.
And I've been waiting for the 3rd for like 8 months.
Yeah, no, life was laughing a little bit.
But yeah, I see that, I feel that, I hear it, I live it, I breathe it. So I'm very grateful that also first-hand understanding how having the right friends and the right people around you can really excel your healing, your learning, everything.
And can regress. I am so sorry. I am so like we were talking about when I was younger.
Yes.
It can most definitely, like, do not underestimate the impact people can have on you.
Yes.
I think people are like, oh, it doesn't bother me. You have a friend who's calling you and they're only talking negative, they're only trauma dumping on you. Right. Oh, it's okay, it's fine, it doesn't affect me.
Stop it, you sound like me.
But it's the truth. I see it. I was, I've been there and I see it happening all the time. It does. It definitely, the time that you're listening to them could be the time that you're pouring into yourself.
Exactly, because there's always an energetic exchange, whether you realise it or not.
100%. And I think that our society doesn't do a good job of telling us that everything matters, everything counts. It's synergy, everything's working together. And I think even just like the path of wellness has really taught me that everything's impacted by everything. It's crazy the way your body works.
110%.
Like those affirmations that my brother told me, you look in the mirror and if somebody is listening or watching to this right now and they don't feel appreciated and valued, or there's certain areas in their life that they don't feel are good, speak life into yourself.
Exactly.
And one thing that Kay taught me as well is to not use the negative
words.
So
don't say what you don't want.
Not like I don't want, like, when people, okay, I don't know, like, I don't want to spend a lot of money. Don't say that. Just be like, I'll be budget conscious. Or
I will receive a lot of things for free today.
Yeah.
Even step it up. I'm like, whatever you're going to say, flip it to a positive and then add on, step it up. The other day I thought to myself, I was saying my affirmations, life goes ahead of me providing what I need before I needed it, all the rest of it. And then I thought to myself, what is it that I want from today? And I was like, I want to be loved. I want to be cared for or catered to. And for some reason, gifts was in my consciousness. I was like, oh, I'm going to receive a gift. Or I'm going to receive gifts. But even saying that, it was like I was stuttering like, oh, I'm going to receive gifts. Like, why am I stuttering? And then I did. I got flowers. I was like, oh. So it's like, always, even if you don't believe it, like you said in the past, today, even if you don't believe it, say it, speak it. If it's positive and it's in the direction or flow that you want it to go, still speak it and keep speaking it until you believe it.
100%. 100%. And I think on that topic, this is something that God called me out on recently. Everyone who knows me, I talk about God a whole lot.
Good.
Because it's a part of my life. Like, I can't not. And I was like in a train and like I kind of felt like God was kind of telling me like, you don't expect good to happen to you. I expect my life to be the sum of my life to be successful. Right. Do you know what I'm saying? I know that those good things, like the sum of it, but not the everyday basis. I often have felt like, when people are like, affirm, today's gonna be a great day. I'm like, today's gonna be a great day. I was saying it with him because it's like I wasn't expecting good to happen on an everyday basis, and I feel like you're saying, like you have to create space because all God wants to do, all life wants to do is for you to live abundantly. Right.
And life likes to outdo our expectations.
Oh,
that's something that I had to pick up. So if you could say whatever, life will do one on top. That's just to show you something.
That's one thing about my God. I will think here, like bottom, because of people listening. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe 10. If I can just get 10. Yes. If I could just get 10, I'll be so grateful. God will say, shh. Yeah. Take this 100. I'm like,
Every time. Every time.
Always.
Even us doing a shoot together, I feel was something that I always wanted, because when we first started interacting, obviously I could see how beautiful Viggs is. You could see how beautiful Viggs is. Only Viggs couldn't see it. So I knew that one day we'd be modelling together. I was just like, bruh, it's going to take a minute to get there. Like, And I would always say, and she'd be like, and then we did. And I'm so chuffed. And it's like, that for me exceeded my expectation. Not only was the shoot amazing, and it was with people that we jointly love and know and care about, it's like we look the F good together. And I was like, as we always bloody do. It was just yummy on all fronts. Plus, she stretched me out on that day and I felt sensational. I had a terrible sleep. I didn't sleep at all. I was very anxious. The way that this woman has healing hands as well. There's so much. Let me stop. Anyway, yes, I'm very grateful, and gratitude is also something that builds confidence.
Oh, gratitude is everything. Gratitude is everything. Apparently, don't quote me on this, the Bible mentions gratitude more than it mentions prayer. And I could see why. Because it opens doors. And it's like, again, this is another thing about being present in a moment. I think being present in this moment, everything we need,
is here.
We have.
Right.
Everything is provided for. There's no lack in this moment right now as we're talking.
That bolted in me when you said that a couple of weeks ago. Bolted down.
Yes.
I was like, yeah. Thank you, God. I'm in my warm bed. I'm not supposed to sleep. I'm cushy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And we'll be thinking, oh, but this and, oh, but I've got to pay for... No. Right now,
everything I need.
As you're present, you're provided for. And I'm so glad that you brought the shoot up, because this whole thing is about confidence. And honestly, to be... The fact that, like you said, you knew... when we met each other... Get that camera out my face. I don't wanna see it. I don't wanna smile into it. I don't know. So the fact that, like, that was mind blowing for me to be in a shoot, have cameras on me, and that was the first one. Actually, yeah, the photos were really good. You're gonna see them. You probably will see them when this is out. But it was like really just opening. I don't know how to. You're better with English.
No.
But it was mind opening. It was just like, wow. This is really happening.
Yeah.
And I was so anxious before, but I kind of embraced it. I was kind of like, okay, this is happening. Okay, cool. I'm just going to try it.
You did so well. You didn't seem anxious.
Did I not? See, that's what I'm saying about me. I never really it's never really given anxious, but inside.
No, with me, you see me tweaking, bro. They said, let me do it. Even setting up the tripod, she said, let me do it. I said, thank you. No, you did very well. You prepped very well. But like I said, again, exceeding expectations. I felt like that exceeded your expectations.
Yeah.
I could see how you thought it was going to be good, but you didn't know it was going to be that good.
Yeah, no, I really put a lot of, like, again, intentionality. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, if I'm feeling some type of way, I try and program myself to imagine what I want from it.
Right.
So I want these shoots to be successful for not just me, but for the brand. I want this, like, that type of thing. Like, I just thought all the good things that I could. So when I got there, I was, like, open to it.
Yeah.
And then everyone that was there that day was amazing. Yeah. And I also think this is, again, kind of going to, like, energy and all those different things.
Oh, energy's a big one.
Energy's huge. It's everything. It's everything. I feel like I always knew that energy was important, but then I realised that because people don't understand, because they try to logicalize something that is not logical. Yeah. And then, but if you want to logicalize it, we are made of atoms, and atoms have charges, right?
So you need more positive charges.
Yeah, so it's like got energy. So even then, like, I think everyone was just vibrating at the right energy, and it really helped create what was created. Yeah. So I think my story so far, and it's still writing itself, of course, is you just don't know. I think what God's shown me in January is you do not know how he's going to bless you. Nah. You have no idea. Like, I still have those moments where I'm thinking, like a year ago, I didn't even like a camera on my face to do a shoot. Insane.
And then she's gonna do a talk show next, so
talk show. Okay,
we're gonna news for some interview somewhere. I have this ability where I can see your life for you before you see it. I can see all the abundance come in. Do you know what I mean? I've already said your multiple houses, your yachts, at least 2. Do you know what I mean? And it's not me just saying it to say it. It's because I physically have seen it. I have little. Do you know what I mean? So I'm excited.
Yeah, life is.
And I know that all of this that you are doing now and that we are doing now is a tiny little slice of this huge, big old, beautiful pie that's coming. Yeah. And that will continue to come. Yeah. And be dished out.
Amen to that.
Amen to that.
Claiming it all. I think the goal is, if you can get to a place where you're in alignment, stay in it. Yeah. Stay. Because everything else slots into place. Yeah. Because boy oh boy.
And being in alignment gives you confidence. Because when you're in alignment, you're confident that whatever you come across, enter into, or are around is meant for you and is for you That's it.
100%. I think that's why things like the shoot was like, no, and I could see that if I didn't start the YouTube a year ago, I would not have had the confidence for that shoot.
You've not been
Impossible.
ready.
Because I've been picking up a camera and I've had to take photos for YouTube thumbnail for a year now. So it primed me, without me knowing this was coming, to be in front of a camera, not it being so scary. So this is, again, about being in alignment. All those opportunities are coming, no matter what your present situation looks like. I do not care what it looks like. I don't care how bleak it feels. And this might be because I know the temptation when people hear that, it's like, but you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know.
Don't need to know.
I don't need to know. I do not need to know. I know that there's a way out. If you're alive, you're breathing, there is hope that things will definitely get better. That's for sure. So, yeah.
Thank you. Are there any tidbits? Tidbits. Why do I say tidbits? Are there any tips aside from affirmations, giving yourself to the Lord, and what else did you say? Lots of other things. What's the key takeaways
for, like, in terms of building your confidence?
Yeah.
I learned that uncomfortability forces you to grow. Forces you to grow.
So how? In what way?
Like, it was through me living in Amsterdam.
Okay.
When I was there, oh God, that was one of the worst times of my life beforehand. And I was alone. And I was so desperately uncomfortable in the situation that I was in. But it ended up being one of the most beautiful periods of my life. I grew so much. I learned so much. I did so much internal work from what was really uncomfortable. And that's also from that. That's why I knew I needed to do YouTube, because I knew it was going to be super uncomfortable for me. And I knew that the only outcome of being uncomfortable, I believe, is growth.
So you would say to delve into these uncomfortable situations where you know that self-growth is going to be paramount.
It's guaranteed.
There you go.
I think when you're uncomfortable, you're guaranteed. Because you have to, like, adjust yourself. And we're so adaptable. So, okay, so if I'm in a position where I feel like, I don't know, tight, and it doesn't feel comfortable for me, I have to find a way that my limb can move. Or I have to, and I'm saying this is like, think of your mental.
Yes.
It has to find a way to shift itself.
Yes.
To adjust to where you are.
Yes. And the only way you can shift is to level up.
100%. And start small as well. You don't have to start big. I wanted to do YouTube. I knew I damn right didn't have the confidence to do that at the time. So I was like, okay, you know what, let me do a podcast instead. So it all started off as a podcast because nobody could see my face. And like we said, my face was a big part for me. Putting myself out there was, so I was like, okay, I'll just do my voice, which I don't have problems with. Like, so it was like, let me start with that. And then I had the confidence to do the YouTube. And then God knows where we'll go from here. But like in the future, businesses and all these different things. Start, like, make it a little bit comfortable for yourself if you have to.
Yeah.
But if not, if you're fine with diving into uncomfortability, dive in. Dive. I think we owe it to, like, you know, I was on my way here, I saw a burger truck outside someone's house. It sounds really random.
She loves a burger.
I was thinking, how are they going to get customers? Because it was just like a random street with a burger truck. But I was like, they owed it to themselves to even try. To try. Because they're not going to be like, at 70, like, if I started that burger truck, what would my life be now? You owe it to yourself to try.
And that's something that I've definitely learned over the years.
Yeah.
I feel like when I was in that space of uncomfortability, but I didn't want to try yet, I was just scrolling on TikTok. And then as I'm scrolling on TikTok, I'm thinking, wow, every single one of these people that I see are trying.
Yes.
And they're making money. Or they're just putting themselves out there. Every single one. So any person, and I've always believed, like, I've never been a type of person to look and say, I can do that better. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
You're sitting in your bed, Kayleen, watching models, wannabe models, try a ting, and you know what you can do.
Yeah.
Get up.
My mum used to get on to me, yeah. I'll be watching my vlogs in peace. She's like, look at you, watching people, and you're not doing it yourself. I was like, oh, stop it, man. Just let me enjoy it. But, like, she was right. She was putting pressure on me. My mum was putting pressure on me. And then it was when we went to Amsterdam that I was like, you know what, this time I'm going to try. I'm going to try and record and see if something comes out of it. I was convinced when we left that trip that I had nothing to put out. But actually reviewing it, I was like, okay, you know what, let me do something. To this day, it's actually the most viewed video. Yeah, it is.
Wait, which one?
The Amsterdam one.
That we did?
Yeah. My very first video. Wow. Yeah. So, it's about trying, like we said, putting yourself out there.
Yeah. But don't be afraid to try.
One thing about me, I don't want to live life with regrets.
Nah.
I think regret is such a stupid emotion.
I don't do
feeling.
regret. Yeah.
And that's why even with the shoot, did I want to do it? No, not really. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't. I didn't really want to put myself out. I didn't. Like, but I've got to a point in my life where I was like, I'll try at least once. You know, when you ask me to do something, do you want to do this? I'll be like, I'll give it a try.
Yeah, you will. She's always up to give something a try.
Yeah. Because I've learned you kind of like, I can't knock something until let me try it first. And then it's like, if I don't like it, I'll just never do it again.
Open to it. Yeah. Funny, that reminds me of that time that we went to that dance class. I only went to support the girl, and then we both agreed I'm never doing that shit again.
No, but I really enjoyed myself. I was in there moving and grooving.
No.
She was like, I didn't want to do that.
Because I was in a closed off space at that time.
Yeah.
I didn't want friends.
Yeah.
I didn't want to feel connected
to
other people. So that was not for me.
The class was all about connection.
It was. I just wasn't. But I'm glad I went, and I'm glad I supported her.
Yeah.
It
was fun for me.
Good, I'm glad. A lot of anyway. Thank you so much for listening. I hope it has been enjoyable for you, as it has been extremely enjoyable for me. I could speak with Viggs on this topic and other topics for a good 5 hours. We won't stop. But I'm gonna stop it here. I will put Viggs's YouTube channel handle in the description so they can go and have a look. She's not active on Instagram, so go and watch her YouTube videos and give a thumbs up, a subscribe, and a like. Thank you, please. See you again next time.
All right.
Finito.
So again, thank you if you've watched this whole thing, if you watched parts of it, if you know anyone who might benefit off this, if you didn't, or if you did, feel free to share it to somebody. Comment. I want to know your story with confidence. Is this something that has been a big deal for you, or maybe not? Like, I just want to know. I like engaging with people, so if you comment down below, I will reply to you for sure. Thank you so much to my beautiful friend Kayleen for this opportunity. We've wanted to do a video for a long time now, so this is like a kill two birds with one stone situation, which I'm grateful for. But as always, I hope you are having a very blessed time as you're watching this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.